Okay, so we are going to be doing the Space Sand Lab. We're going to be examining polarity and solubility. We're going to be using, of course, space sand, 3 different colors, natural sand, and then several liquids including water and salt. We're going to be examining what mixes. These mix, they're both nonpolar. These mix, they're both polar. And then there's the issue of surfactants that's going to come up later. We're going to do our experiments here. I'm going to take it from a different angle, and a couple of experiments in the Petri dish. We don't usually use these in chemistry. So we're going to go through and do the experiments, and you can write them all down. Write down anything you observe, and then you'll be able to complete the lab from this video. Today, we're going to be doing the Space Sand Lab with my little assistants, with Ian and Lucy. We're going to do the Space Sand Lab with these materials. And we're going to start with number 1. Ready? Okay, wait, number 1 is fill 2 small 50 milliliter beakers with 30 milliliters of water each. Add a little bit of space sand to one, a little bit of natural sand to the other. So let's go.
Okay.
We already measured out. How much is in that, Lucy?
It's 30.
Okay, pour it in.
31.
Good, and then set those off to the side. Now we've already prepared the amount of the sands, so grab the sands and pour that in. We're using the blue space sand as the default, and watch what happens. Go ahead, Lucy, you can pour yours. You can do it at the same time. And now use your spoon, Ian, and examine it. Use your spoon and see what's going on there.
So,
Lucy, use your spoon to see what's going on there. Like a spoon. Use your spoon over there. See if you can scoop it up. Okay, so look whether.
got it.
Okay, is the space sand wet?
No, it's
Scoop some natural sand up this. You want to get a picture of it.
not.
Is the natural sand wet? Try to scoop
Yes,
some
it's
out.
wet.
Okay, Ian, take your spoon up. Okay, so the next experiment is going to be, your next experiment is using the beaker with the space sand. Which one has the space sand?
This one.
Okay. Sprinkle a layer of space sand on the surface of the water and take a pencil and slowly push it through the layer. So each of you can do that. First, sprinkle some more sand on the top, a little more blue on the top, and then Ian can be the first one with the pencil. Okay, let's see what this, get a good picture of this. Poke it through.
Not too far.
Oh yeah, this is really focused. You can poke more than that. You can poke more. Oh, okay, pull it back, pull it back. So is the pencil wet? Oh, you pushed it down. Now, Lucy, take another layer and sprinkle. Wow. You really want that laugh on
it.
Okay, let Lucy try it now. Do you really want that laugh on this video yet? Pull it back and forth. Let's see it from above.
Oh no.
Okay. Okay, that's fine. So we can see what happens with the. That's enough. That's enough of that one.
One
Okay.
more.
So is the pencil wet or dry? We just saw that, and let the students answer it. Okay, from above. This is really good focus, I think. Okay. Let's go to the next one. Okay, so continue to use the same beaker from experiment 2. Slowly sprinkle a space sand layer on top, and then try to make a raft of space sand. We kind of already have one. Let's add a little bit more, sprinkle a little bit more. Okay, add a little bit more, just a little, sprinkle it. So what we're getting is sort of a raft floating. Notice that some of it stays on top. Wait, not with that. And some of it goes to the bottom. Now, take a drop of water, take the micro pipette,
I want to.
and put little drops on there. Just a few drops, see what happens. What is happening there? Yeah,
It's growing when you put drops in it.
Okay, let Lucy put some in. Try to get in the middle. This is a micro pipette, a little dropper. Interesting. So look what happens there. So why do you think... Okay, that's enough, Lucy. Why do you think... Stop, Lucy. Oh, why do you think it held together like that? It would have been nice to talk about it when it was like that.
Sorry.
Why do you think it held together like that as a drop? Why do you think it held together?
Because it's heavy.
Okay, I'm gonna show something here. I'm gonna sprinkle some in here. Okay.
No.
And then I'm gonna use a micro pipette.
Oh, Dad, can
Yeah, we can do that in a second. Wait. First,
Can
so
I
look,
try in here?
look. Hold on, I want to get it on film, Ian. So notice, turn it this way.
It's on.
Turn it toward me, like I said. Okay.
See?
Interesting. But don't go in all the way. Don't get it wet. Okay, that tells you something. Okay, that's a conductivity indicator. But look, see how the water right now? See how it's like this, guys? Why do you think the water holds together like that? Why doesn't the water just flatten out on there? That's an interesting thing to notice. That has to do with something called surface tension. Okay, anyway, so let's go to the next one. Does the water remain beaded? You don't have to answer that. The students can answer that. Okay, so using the same beaker from experiment 3, stir the space sand under the water with the spoon. Hang on when I get it on video. And then try to sculpt it. So let's let Lucy try this one first. Lucy, push it under. Push all the space sand under. You can use a spoon or yeah, you could use that stir rod. Maybe the other end is good.
Okay.
Let's do it
Can
quick.
I do it too?
Yeah, first let's let Lucy push it all down. Push it down underwater. And then see if you can sculpt it, like change its shape. Hold the beaker with your other hand.
Good job.
And then see if you can change its shape. Can you? Can you change it into different shapes?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So Ian, you want to try it? Go ahead and try it, Ian.
Okay. Well, there's nothing. There's nothing. There's nothing.
You're supposed to sculpt it, like.
Try to sculpt it.
Easier.
Just hold the beaker, don't let it spill over, okay?
I'll hold it.
Whoa, it turns back into blue when you take it out.
Notice when it comes out. Notice when it comes out.
Perfectly dry.
Perfectly dry. So we could actually scoop some off the bottom and sprinkle it back on the top. That's another way to do it. Scoop it off the bottom, lift it up, and then sprinkle it back on the surface. Okay, let's let Lucy try it. This is not a specific experiment, but this is something that Space Sand does. Now sprinkle it side to side, side to side.
Fun! I want to do this every day.
Okay, so that's that experiment. We better go on to the next one, guys. We want to make the video too long. So it can be sculpted under, we saw whether it can be sculpted underwater. We don't want to answer all these questions for students. And is the space sand wet or dry? We just saw that. Okay, so now, question 5. The same beaker from experiment 4. We're going to add scoops of the different colors of sand. Why don't we didn't have time to measure these out, but I know that 2 grams is about 2 of these little spoons. So let's mix in, since this is for a demo for people to see it, let's mix in 3, okay Ian, 3 scoops of the red, while Lucy does 3 scoops of the yellow. Go ahead, Lucy, into the same beaker. So we're mixing in different colors.
1.
These are go ahead and do it, Lucy. We don't want to take a long time.
Lucy, dip in the same place.
So we're mixing the colors and we're going to see if these different colored space sands will mix with each other. We want to see if the different colored space sands will mix with each other.
Okay.
And now try to mix them up, Ian. Hold the beaker so it doesn't fall. Yes. And try to like mix them together if you can, the different sands.
Can I probably go with the tiny one? No, I want to try
Let him try the tiny one.
one.
Okay. But you have to hold the beaker, Ian.
Oh, okay.
But I got to see it, baby.
Okay.
Yeah, Lucy holds it. That's good. That's good. So,
Can I try?
can Lucy try now?
Yeah.
Let Lucy try though.
Get down there. Okay.
Okay, try it again.
Whoa.
Put this back on the white
Like
background.
a rainbow.
It's a rainbow? So-
Rainbow.
It's kind of, okay, you got to mix it like around and around and around. Like, do you think the colors are staying separated or are they mixing together?
They are mixing together.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then, let me see. Now, we did experiment 5. And I think, okay, so now we're going to add the natural sand. Go ahead and put a scoop of natural sand in there, Lucy. And we'll see if that mixes. Try to mix that in. Use this other stir rod. This one's a good one. Hold the beaker and stir it really well. And is it mixing? Let's see. Okay, now try to scoop some out with a spoon to see if it's mixed. Try to scoop it out with a spoon. See if it's mixed. Do you see any sand mixed in with that? Where's the sand located and where's the space sand?
Oh, it's at the bottom.
Try to hold the beaker, Lucy. It would really help. Okay. Can you see where the sand is? So are they together or are they mixing or not?
They're not.
Interesting. Maybe tilt the beaker a little and then just don't spill it. Interesting. Yeah, there's the sand on the bottom. Interesting.
Cool.
And the space sand is above it. Okay, so now we're doing experiment 6. We've got, what are these called, Lucy?
The space sand.
These are Petri dishes. And you guys can put your scoops of sand. I'll read wait, let me do the instructions first, then you'll do it. Hold on. It says 2 grams of space sand. We're gonna add a little bit more for this demo. And 2 grams of the natural sand, and then we're gonna drizzle vinegar. Okay, go. So put your scoops. Actually, Ian. Yeah. Good.
1.
See, I can't see.
Just dump it on there, Lucy. It doesn't have to be. Just dump it, okay? I said for the vinegar. It says to drizzle the vinegar. So now take your vinegar in, you know which one it is? We measured out the vinegar, yes. And then pour it on there slowly. Make sure it's on the sand, Ian. On the sand, yeah.
Oh.
Okay, so you can move it around with your spoon. That's why I wanted to pour it on the sand, but it's okay.
I see bubbles.
You do? Hard to see on film. Oh yeah. You can see them breaking the surface tension. Okay, so Ian, is that getting wet? Is it getting wet?
No.
Is the sand getting wet?
Sort of.
Ian, could you move them for a moment? I've just got to.
Is the space sand.
I'm trying to see if there's bubbles. Ian, I gotta get right here. Okay, sorry. Okay, so do we see any bubbling? You can see when the surface tension breaks, you can see the reflection on the water changing. You see bubbles in there, Lucy?
Yeah, I did.
I actually see quite a lot of bubbles. Let's see if
Dad,
I
I
move it
see
this
a
way.
bubble here.
You see a bubble?
Yeah, but I popped it.
There's a little bead of water, right? Let's see. So the question is, do they bubble? The reason for that is vinegar is an acid. It's acetic acid, and it reacts with anything containing calcium carbonate, like in shells.
Dad, there's a bubble right here.
Let me see.
Right
That's
here.
a little bead of water, Ian. That's actually liquid. Move it. Yeah. What it means is, are there bubbles like from a reaction? Oh yeah, you can see lots of bubbles in there. See all those? Those would be bubbles. Okay, from the reaction with the vinegar. It's known.
Is that supposed to be bubbles in here?
Well, you know, when you do an experiment, you look and see what happens. So, do you think there are bubbles in there?
There's none.
Okay, so you just observe what happens. This one's got quite a lot. So that indicates the presence of calcium carbonate. Okay, and I'll bring over a rock that shows what that looks like in a moment. Okay, so that's that experiment. The next experiment we are going to do grab that graduated cylinder. Let's see that one there. Oh, Ian, did you check the conductivity of these? You want to do that with the conductivity of the battery? Give him the battery, Lucy. Give him the battery.
Oh, yeah.
You can stick that in both of them. Make sure it's on. It's got to be on.
Oh, yeah.
We want me to
Okay,
do
check them. Okay, that one conducts. What about this one? Really, you should have wiped it in between, but they both seem to conduct. Okay, so now our next experiment is going to be experiment 7. It says to pour 10 milliliters of vinegar into an empty, it says beaker, but we're changing this into a graduated cylinder because I think it's more obvious. And the vinegar that we're going to use in this one is actually, I've dyed it red. So here, Lucy, this red, okay, just pour it into that graduated cylinder because you do it over here though. Ian, move over a little.
Is mine blue? Is that mine? Blue?
No, into that one, okay. Pour it in.
So mine's blue.
And it's better if I can see it, Lucy. It's just, okay. All right, and then the next step, let's move it over Why don't we put it on a white placard so we can see the background? Try to keep things in the middle so that, no, let's move this over here. Like, move it over here. Okay, there we go. Now, the next step is to add 5 milliliters of canola oil. Where did you measure out the canola oil, Lucy?
I think it's that one.
Yeah, grab it. And now let's see, let's pour that in and see what happens.
What? A lot of bubbles. Ooh. Oh my god, half
You can
is white.
see how they're yellow? The bubbles?
The reason I dyed
Oh,
the vinegar red was so that you could easily see
that's so
the separation now, okay? So you know that old expression? Your dad probably told it to you, or if he didn't, he's telling you now. Oil and water don't mix, but this is oil and vinegar.
You never said that.
You know this is a salad, I just said it now. This is a salad dressing, right? Oil and vinegar. And that red on the top is just a reflection looking through it. That's interesting. It's reflecting the color, I think, unless there's a tiny little bit there. Okay, so the next step is to add 10 milliliters of water. The water I've also dyed blue. See that blue water there, Lucy?
Can I get it?
You can.
I want to do it.
Okay, so then let him pour it in though, okay? So it says add 10 milliliters of water and it says where does the water wind up? That's why I've colored the water blue. Pour it in slowly in. Use the spout, baby. Okay. You could, okay.
Whoa.
So now, what did the blue go into? Did it go into the oil
It went into
or did it go into the vinegar?
the vinegar.
That's sort of bubbles.
So this has to do with polarity of liquids. A lot of people think that liquids separate because of their density, but an even bigger factor is the polarity. So polarity, now stick your little stirring rod in. Where's the glass stirring rod? Oh, that one's fine, that one's fine. Stick it in and stir. Stir. But hold it. You gotta hold the base, baby, or the top, yeah. Okay. Now let's see what happens. Now, and then take it out. Okay, so what happens to the colors?
Coca-Cola.
Okay,
Coca-Cola.
okay. You know what we need? What we need to see this?
Yeah.
We need the white background. Yeah, it does look kind of like
Coca-Cola.
like Coca-Cola. Like brown.
Copied me.
Okay, but did it mix with the oil? Did it mix with the oil?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Ian, don't do that, baby.
It did mix with the what was that the part?
The vinegar.
The vinegar, yeah.
We're on number 8. It says, space sand was originally created to clean up oil spills in the ocean. So we're going to add 5 milliliters of canola oil to a petri dish half filled with water and see what happens. And then we're going to sprinkle some space sand over it. Now, this water, we've dyed it blue. And go ahead, Lucy, and add the canola oil.
Okay.
She's going to pour the canola oil in the middle. This is the 5 milliliters of canola oil. Isn't that interesting, right?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Okay, now Ian, you can sprinkle in, use the red space sand. Let's use the red. Sprinkle in, let's try 3. Sprinkle it right on top of where the oil is. Sprinkle it right on top. Don't get the spoon wet.
Look at the story.
Okay, another one? Do another one?
Okay. Remember tilt it.
Spread it out more, yeah. Good. Notice, no, don't put the spoon wet. Okay. You notice anything happening here?
The space sand is getting wet.
Do another one, Ian.
But it's not.
So try to get some in the water. Dump one more into the water.
Okay.
Way out in the blue. Okay, so notice the difference. What? Okay,
Whoa, they're
Notice-
going together.
Okay, now let's use your other spoon. Okay, let's use your other spoon to see what is happening. Is this space sand wet? Check this space sand over here.
It's buoyant for you to see.
No.
Now check the other space sand.
Yep.
Is that, look Lucy,
It's not afloat.
is that wet?
Yes,
Interesting.
it is.
So what makes space sand get wet?
Oil. Canola oil.
Okay, let's see, is there another step in this one? Now pour some natural sand over the canola. Hold on. Now pour some natural sand. Lucy, you do this. Sprinkle some natural sand over here where there's still just oil visible, like over there.
Okay.
Would you expect it to get wet?
Yeah. Dun, dun, dun.
Is it getting oily?
Yeah.
Sprinkle some in the water too, Lucy. Out in the
Getting
blue.
wet.
Cloudy in the blue.
It's getting wet.
So this is
getting
interesting,
wet.
right?
Whoa.
This is interesting because we were talking about polarity. So think about it. You can determine the polarity starting with water. This one's a little tricky, so you got to think about this one. Okay, that's experiment 8. Now experiment 9, we have to get ready for it. That'll be Lucy's favorite experiment. Okay, so we're doing experiment number 9 now. We're going to fill a 15 milliliter beaker with 30 milliliters of water, add 2 grams of space sand, and then a few drops of dish soap, and stir and see what happens. Okay, so go ahead, Lucy. Got the water measured. Just gonna pour in the water. This water is not colored. Okay? And then you can bring the beaker toward you, Lucy, and make it faster. Put some scoops in there. And you know what happens? Yellow space sand. Does it act the same as the blue space sand?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Okay. So now you're adding the dish soap. She's taking a whole squirt of it. No, that's enough. That's more. Okay. That's a lot. So maybe squirt in about half of that. Yeah. Squirt in about half of that. Squirt it in.
Got it.
Hold on, she's doing this. Squirt it in. Okay. Okay? And then put the dish. Now stir it in. Stir that in. See what happens.
Whoa. It's like tiny pebbles.
Maybe use the other stir rod, might work better.
Okay.
Remember, you have to hold the beaker when you're stirring this.
Oh yeah.
Now, hand her a spoon, Ian. Let's see. Scoop some of that up. Let's see what happened.
tiny one.
Let's see what happened. Let's see what happened. Scoop some of that up.
What?
Is it? What happened to it?
So it was like pebbly and
Scoop some up. Get a whole bunch if you can. Hold the beaker, Lucy, please. What happened to it?
Pebbles.
it's now wet.
Interesting. And that's one of the questions. Does the space sand now get wet?
Yes. Why? Because it does.
And then we've got experiments 10 and 11 coming up. Ian, did you want to show me the conductivity? Did you get any readings?
Yeah.
Well, the red light.
I got to see the red light, Ian. Okay. Does it light in everything? Did you wipe it off in between?
Okay, you just gotta do that. Then this, it doesn't.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so this.
Oh, that does. So what areas light up? What areas light up?
The the blue.
And what areas don't light up?
Red.
Or that's what's in there? What was in the middle, remember?
The canola oil and the red space sand.
Right. Okay, so now we are going to do experiment 10 and 11, the last 2 experiments. Experiment 10 says to fill 2 small 50 milliliter beakers with 30 milliliters of water each. Slowly sprinkle 1 gram of salt into the water in each beaker. Okay, then we're going to sprinkle 1 gram of space sand on top of the first beaker. And that's going to be on Ian's side this time. Okay, or actually that'll be on Ian's side. So ready? Go. We measured out the water. How much water is that?
It goes up to 30.
Okay, pour it in. Good, you're using the spout. And now Lucy's putting in a scoop of salt. We measured out that that's the right amount. I'll set this off to the
My
side.
turn.
And then she's gonna start stirring, Lucy, stir. Really good. No, with the other one, Lucy. The other one stirs much better.
Okay. Sorry.
Okay.
Stir it up. And then Ian's gonna stir his up. Oh, you took the spoon yet? Okay, well, I guess we're not gonna use it again. And then Lucy's checking the conductivity. That makes sense, right? Because salt is an electrolyte. Did you know that? Okay, that makes a lot of sense. That one does. Okay, stir it up. Give him the stirring rod, Lucy. Okay, and now we're gonna sprinkle a little bit. Let me read the instructions again. It says sprinkle space sand over the first beaker.
Which one?
Okay, that'll be Ian's beaker. So, oh, what color?
Yeah.
Let's just use the blue. Let's just use the blue. Okay, Ian, that's good. Sprinkle some blue.
Is there any difference between the yellow one and the blue one?
They're different colors.
Oh, okay.
So what's it doing? What's it doing?
No.
They're like not sinking, they're floating and they're
Interesting. Look at that bottom.
And at
Doesn't
the
that,
bottom, it's like sort of white.
do you want to try to stab it with the stirring rod?
Yeah. Like stab it, like
Poke it. Okay, so now we're gonna add more salt to this one, Ian. Add another scoop of salt. Oh, we do need the spoon again, actually. Add another scoop, of salt to that same beaker and stir it in. I mean, even more than that. That's not enough. A little more. Okay, and then you're really not supposed to stir with those spoons. You're supposed to. Okay. He's not. Ian's got his own instructions. It's better if you hold on to the beaker while you're stirring. Okay. And now we're going to try to add some more space sand and see if it's any different. Add some more.
Okay.
Same color, right there. No, use that spoon. We don't want to mix the spoons. We're going to contaminate materials. Let's see.
whoa.
Okay. Is it the same? Does it look like it's doing the same thing? Maybe put some more on. Let's see if it'll hold more.
Can I try and poke it?
Yeah, you try poking it. Yeah. Okay. Okay, add some more, Ian. Okay, look how much it's holding. Is it holding more? Look how much, look from the side. Look from the side. Look from the side. Yeah, add one more scoop. Add one more scoop.
Okay.
Okay. Add one more scoop.
Oh.
Add one more scoop, Ian.
Oh. Wait, but
Interesting.
now
okay.
Lucy puts it down, so
No, that's enough. That's enough. That's enough. That's enough.
whoa.
So we get to see the effect of that one.
I'm
Okay,
gonna push
hold on.
it down.
Now, sprinkle natural sand. Lucy, sprinkle natural sand on the other beaker. On the second beaker.
This one?
Yeah. Does it float? I'll try to sprinkle, which is do it very slowly. Get some more. Sprinkle, like, shake it over it slowly and see if any of it floats, just to see, give it a chance. Is it floating?
Kind
Is
of
it-
at the top.
Is it?
Sort of. Yeah.
It's like in the Holy Grail. What floats? Very small rocks. Okay. Well, maybe a tiny bit, but mostly it doesn't. Okay. Mostly it sinks. So now we're talking about surface tension. Surface tension is what holds things on the surface. So that's a good way to examine surface tension, is what happened to those. And adding the salt changed the density of the water. Okay? So number 11, I'm just going to pull it out of the freezer, guys. Here comes number 11. You haven't seen this yet? Number 11, wait. Okay, number 11 is in the freezer. And I'm going to open it up. Wait. I took some space sand and some natural sand. And here's the natural sand in water. What happened to it?
It's like the sand stayed at the bottom.
It's frozen.
Hold it up so I can see it, Ian.
It's frozen.
I've got to be able to see it, baby.
See, it's frozen.
Okay, yeah. But I've got to see the side, Lucy, so I can see what happened. Okay, and now, here's the other one. Here's what happened to the space sand. So look, what do you notice?
Frozen too.
But wait, look.
Whoa, there's a hole? There's a hole. There's a hole.
So,
There is a
is the space sand wet? Tilt it a little. Tilt it.
You can't
It's
feel
dry.
with that. You can't
still
feel
dry.
it.
Okay, let's see. On here, see if you can pour that out. See if you can pour it out.
Maybe this. Here.
Yeah, let's see.
Yep, because there's a hole.
Okay, let me see inside. So look,
Whoa.
Isn't that
What's
interesting?
That's really cool.
so that's experiment.
There's ice.
That's experiment number 11. That's the demo. And it says with 2 beakers and of 30 milliliters of water each, I added 5 grams of space sand to 1 and 5 grams of natural sand. And they've been in there for overnight. So now we see what happened to that. And the point of that is, does freezing the water make a difference? Now Lucy's shaking it all out. Let's see. Let me see the ice. Let me
It
see.
will not come to waste.
But I've got to be able to see in there to see. This is for a video, right? So notice that she's been pouring it out of that cavity.
It cannot go to
Okay,
waste.
and then maybe we could get this to plop out. Or maybe we'll do that in a minute and get another little video.
Okay.
Look at me.
Okay, so that's it, guys. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Careful, Lucy.